From downtown Portland, Maine, the America East Women's Basketball Conference Tournament rolls on. Quarterfinal play has one last matchup. Number 3 seed Binghamton playing against the number 6 seed Hartford. And we look at the bracket here. One last game to go as we look to find out who is going to be in that semifinal round. Should be fun with the championship game just a few days away next week. We welcome you back courtside. Danny Kleppinger and Brendan Glasheen. Well, Binghamton, a 3 seed this year after last season climbing up the ranks of the conference standings. Best finish in 7 years for the Bearcats.
I know. It's great to see Binghamton have the success that they have, and that's due in large part to Amani Watkins, who we'll talk about in just a second. But it's great to see how much success they've been able to have, and I'm excited to see this matchup here today.
ALYSSA James has been a rock for them in the paint, but let's look at Hartford first, and one of the top turnover-causing teams in the league. Lindsay Abed anchors this group, can do it all. Scoring, rebounding, facilitates, a do-it-all player for Hartford.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right there. She's multi-dimensional. She does a little bit of everything for this team. Just like you said, she's a sharpshooter, 13.7 points per game. And you know what? She did a really good job. Can't say this enough about her. She did a really good job defending Amani Watkins the last time Hartford matched up against Binghamton, and they had success in that game, due in large part to Lindsay Abed.
And oh yeah, she's a 90% free throw shooter this year. She gets it done. That's tops in America East. As for Binghamton, you teased this a moment ago. Amani Watkins last night was honored as America East Player of the Year, and she truly earned it this season.
What a special player Amani Watkins is. I mean, she's great off the dribble. She is deadly from behind the arc. Over 2,000 points in her career. She spends the majority of the time handling the ball. I mean, she shoots the ball a lot, but that's because the ball is in her hands a lot, which I think is what Binghamton wants. I mean, she was the Player of the Year in the conference for a reason. She's one of those players that makes you just say, wow, when you watch her play.
And both teams' starting lineups being announced as we look at the Hartford Hawks. A couple of seniors in the front court, Janelle Harrison and Darby Lee. Harrison closing in on 1,000 career points. Lee eclipsed that a couple of weeks ago. Lindsay Abed, the junior star we spoke on, averaging close to 14 a game. Jade Young and Alexia Douglas round out the unit for the number 6 seed Hartford Hawks. And for the Binghamton Bearcats, 2 seniors that anchor this group, ALYSSA James and Player of the Year Amani Watkins. Kai Moon is good to go. There was question of whether or not she would play tonight. She is okay and good to play despite a foot injury. Boland and Carmody round out the rest of the unit. We've been talking about this one since the morning. There's potential this could be the best game of the day.
Absolutely. I think it could be. I think Hartford is hitting their peak right at the right time. You know, you talk about when you're going to hit your peak during the season, and you want to do it around tournament time. Hartford was able to beat Binghamton the last time they played them just a week ago. And if they can continue off of that momentum, maybe there's an upset here. Binghamton, though, with the best player in the conference right there in Amani Watkins. She might have something to say about them coming after her again.
Conference best 20.4 points per game. Hartford is looking for its 12th semifinal appearance over the last 14 years. And Binghamton is seeking its 6th semifinal appearance in conference history. James wins the tip against Harrison. And we are underway in Portland for our final quarterfinal matchup. Number 3 seed Binghamton and 6 seed Hartford. Kai Moon misfires from distance to open the game. Out of bounds, Hartford basketball.
The last time Hartford and Binghamton matched up, Hartford became very unpredictable at what type of defense they were going to throw at Binghamton, and Binghamton had a hard time getting in any sort of offensive rhythm the last time that these two teams met. Interested to see what Hartford decides to do the entire game here defensively, especially against Amani Watkins.
Lindsay Abed just took the first shot for Hartford, and there's Linda Simino in her 4th year, Conference Coach of the Year 2 seasons ago, leading Binghamton to its highest finish as far as seeding and record since the 2010-2011 season. the Bearcats, you alluded to that regular season finale on Sunday. Bearcats went 7-3 over their last 10 games, but did lose their last 2. Hartford's won 3 in a row coming into tournament play.
Well, Binghamton had 26 turnovers against Hartford last week, and that really shot them in the foot. You know, Imani Watkins couldn't get into any sort of rhythm, and she was throwing a lot of errant passes. Her decision-making definitely wasn't one of her best games.
Jade Young from the outside, rebound Watkins. Eyes on the prize, attacking and kicks to Moon. Watkins defended tightly, pulls up on a contest. Douglas with the pressure. Hartford 9th in the nation in causing turnovers. So that speaks to your point from Sunday.
Absolutely, their bread and butter comes from their defense.
Darby Lee, splash from 10 feet out. A 6-foot sophomore from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Ooh. Pass tipped. Carmody stayed in bounds, stripped though. Here is Douglas, 1-on-2, fires. Cleaned up though by Jade Young. Freshman from Philadelphia. What makes this Hartford team scary? 4 starters on the floor as James is left all alone. Easy basket for the senior big. But Hartford's got 4 players inside the conference's top 10 in steals per game. Just dangerous.
Absolutely, and that's how they get motivated, is by their defense. They get those steals, those coast-to-coast baskets. That's how they want to play. They want to play off of their defense. That's why they're so good at these steals.
Abed knocks it down, or pardon, that's Darby Lee again with the jump shot. She's already got 4 points, had just 2 on Sunday when these 2 teams met. Lee was 1 of 7 from the field. Carmody slips it underneath, and James too strong on the block. 6-2 Hawks. Nearly 3 minutes gone by, opening quarter. Lee using her pivot foot, jabbing. Douglas, jumper off the heel. And here comes Watkins, full steam ahead. Watkins with her right. Left it short. Carmody back up, nothing but net.
Good place, good at the right time to be able to get that offensive board. A nice little quick, nice soft touch for her to get that basket to go.
Rebecca Carmody, a junior from Waymart, Pennsylvania. Feed to Abed against Moon. Turnaround jumper is off. Harrison's cleanup. Still a mess down there. Moon up the floor, sees Carmody, but could not squeeze it home. Both teams want to push early. That is evident as Boland kicks it out of bounds. A lot of freedom allowed here on both sides.
Which is a good thing, and you saw Imani Watkins just walk up to Carmody just to tell her, you know, stay in this. It's okay that you missed the layup. It's super early on, but way to get out in transition. You saw her go over there and make sure her head was still in it after that missed layup.
Just saw Kid McNeil. Her team picked 4th in the conference this year. Making an appearance as the 6th seed last year. Upset UMBC, who was the 3 seed in this tournament a year ago. Eventually falling to Albany. Kai Moon for 3. Oh yeah! Binghamton on a 5-0 run to take the lead. There was question of whether or not Kai Moon would play. A media conference the other day said she was out indefinitely, did not play in that Hartford game, which is a key element when she scores with Watkins. They are very tough to beat.
Exactly, and I think that played a lot into the last game, is that Watkins just didn't have Moon to help her out on the offensive end. Moon takes some pressure off of Watkins.
And there's a look at Sierra DaCosta, former Rookie of the Year in America East, draws the whistle against ALYSSA James. DaCosta missed 14 regular season games.
And talking about this Hartford team peaking at the right time, I think that's due in large part to DaCosta and her return. She's a little spark plug to this team. She really gets things going off the rim, off the dribble. I mean, her being back at this time is making this Hartford team, making me sit here wondering if this Hartford team can not only bring an upset today, but tomorrow as well, if they were to get to that point.
Number 2 seed Albany awaits the winner of this one. Hartford would love a chance at revenge against the Great Danes. Kai Moon runned over by DaCosta. Good sportsmanship, picking her up. DaCosta with a foot injury. And you mentioned the spark plug. They scored 91 points in her second game of that 3-game win streak.
Absolutely. I mean, she can get to the rim. She's got a great pull-up jumper right inside that 3-point line. I mean, she can shoot the 3 as well, but
Moon got harassed. Watkins open weak side, halfway down. James stays on the pivot foot. Fresh 30 as Moon attacks. But 3 seconds, offensive 3 seconds against ALYSSA James. We stay even at 7 through the first. Hartford 3 for 10 from the field early. Binghamton 3 for 9. Neither team has been shy to attack. Off the dribble, Mary Pattison, who has checked in. 10 in the red, 7 on the shot clock for DaCosta. Douglas throws it up. James for the rebound.
Binghamton's bench almost acting like a 6th man as a whole, making lots of noise. Making lots of noise as that shot clock gets down to the 10-second area. They're screaming, they're yelling. It's like a 6th man out there on defense.
And after the foul, that leads to a timeout on the floor. Watkins kicking to her sidekick, Moon. 7-7 here in the first.
This is a place where bright minds meet, where innovative education and groundbreaking research thrive. A world-class institution with renowned faculty and endless opportunity. This is Binghamton University, the premier public university in the Northeast.
Respect is hard work, respect is dedication.
Respect is earned on the court or on the field.
Respect doesn't judge based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
Respect is being the first conference to partner with the You Can Play project.
And the first conference in the LGBT Sports Safe Founders Club.
Respect coaches, players, and the game.
Respect similarities.
Respect differences.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
There is a greater strength in you.
A strength you may not see in yourself. But here, you are challenged and pushed and guided and encouraged and motivated and inspired
and propelled and excited and driven to succeed until you find it. That's the University of Hartford.
The America East Women's Basketball Championship in Portland. Coming back to Maine, especially Portland, being so close to family, was an amazing feeling. The atmosphere was phenomenal. Maine has a great support system, especially towards basketball. Portland is a great area. I'm not far from it. There's such great scenery. I love visiting there.
Visit Portland for the 2018 America East Women's Basketball Tournament, March 3rd and 4th at the Cross Insurance Arena. Tickets are on sale now.
Hey, Portland, we'll see you in March.
Welcome back to Portland inside Cross Insurance Arena. The Three Pillars podcast is available now on Apple Podcast and Google Play. Episodes are released on a weekly basis during the season, available for download on your devices. Among featured guests are members of the national media, coaches, and student athletes every Wednesday, all season long, the Three Pillars podcast. Former guest of the podcast, Danny Kleppinger and Brendan Glasheen here for our final quarterfinal game, 7-7 early. Kai Moon just broke the tie with the free throw. You can already tell the rapid pace is evident in this one.
Absolutely. And you know, that's what you want to see out of these teams, especially early on. Kind of test how far you can go. Test who showed up to play right away. You know what I mean? If you get one team back on their heels early, maybe you can go on some sort of a run, which both of these teams like to do.
After the jab, 3 on the way, but too strong by Kelly Douglas. From Clifton, New Jersey, a former 1,000-point scorer at Clifton High School, coming off the bench for Hartford. Jasmine Cena, 10 in the white, also in. On the drive, it's Moon. And a blocking foul whistled against DaCosta.
Already you can tell the impact Moon has on this Binghamton team. I know we do a lot of talking about Amani Watkins, but they really missed Moon in the last time out against Hartford. She's able to kind of give Binghamton another threat. She brings a little bit of a calming presence to her, giving Binghamton's offense another option, because I think they get so caught up in trying to give Amani Watkins the ball all the time. They have to respect Moon.
She made the America East All-Third team this year. Last year made the All-Rookie team. And I mentioned this before, being Amani Watkins' sidekick. It's really true. Watkins has put her arm over her shoulder numerous times to help lead. And when Watkins exits at the end of this year, the keys will be handed to Kai Moon, especially with James out the door. Lindsay Abed not going anywhere. She'll be a senior next year. Hartford fortunate she makes it a 1-point game.
She's a sharpshooter. I mean, she's made 8 threes in a game once this season.
James back the other way.
You can't leave her open.
Can't leave the 6'1" James open either. ALYSSA James, all-conference second team, all-defensive team as well. A force in the paint. Harrison had it poked away for a moment by James. Darby Lee's been hot with the jump shot. Too strong, and James wrestles the rebound.
Big time rebound there.
In a game against Hartford back in January, she ripped down 16 off the glass. Fresh off the bench, Kaylee Wasco, 50 in the white, a freshman from Midland, Michigan. 8 to shoot, Watkins fires. Back of the iron, and Darby Lee snatches it away from James. Feed underneath to Abed, and she short-rimmed the triple. Here's Kai Moon. Bolin dribbles away from pressure. Wasco had the angle, but fouled before the shot by Janelle Harrison. It's the 4th foul on Hartford as a team here in the first quarter. Watkins will inbound with a fresh 30. Moon and Watkins make eye contact. Pass was interrupted. The harassment by Harrison on Moon continues. Watkins wants to take over the set. The lefty kicks over. Now Watkins for 3. Oh, yes.
You knew it was a matter of time before she got one to go. Hartford's got to make sure she does not get in any sort of rhythm and get a hot hand, because when she gets going, Binghamton's tough to stop.
Moon and Watkins have each made a 3.
Watkins is first place all time in Binghamton program history in 3-pointers. You saw that one go down right there. Expect a couple more to come in this one. I'd be surprised if there wasn't.
10th in conference history in scoring all time as a senior. First all time in the Binghamton's D1 history with 2,060 points coming into this game.
You know, a lot of people talk about how being a 1,000-point scorer is an accomplishment. A 2,000-point scorer?
Adding. Not this time.
Good
Knocked
box out by Abed.
Carmody trying to hover on top of her.
Substitution number 2,
DeCosta checks in. A break for Alexia Douglas. ASA junior college transfer that's based in Brooklyn. And here is Abed bringing up the ball. Abed early has 3 points. Lee with 4 to lead Hartford. Abed attacks with her left. DeCosta swirling in, disrupted on the shot attempt by Wasco as DeCosta went to the ground.
And this is what makes her such a spark plug that we talked about earlier. Nice little head fake. She drives in hard to the basket, draws the foul. She's aggressive. And you like to see that, especially when you've sat out for so many games. You know she was probably sitting on the bench licking her chops to get back in there. Definitely making the most out of her time back now on the floor.
Again, a foot injury kept her out 14 games, 70% free throw shooter in the 15 she's played this season.
Coach McNeil said after the last game that Sierra was just eating at her every game. You know what, Coach, I'm playing today. And she was like, you know, unless that training staff clears you, you can't play. She was trying to self-diagnose herself into being cleared to play. That's how antsy she was.
What player doesn't do that?
I mean, you'd be surprised. I think some people can get complacent with just being able to take a little rest after the grind of a season. But that just shows that she's a competitor. She doesn't want to sit out, especially after the year she had her freshman year. Ooh.
Another giveaway by by Binghamton. A couple bodies fall down. It was Moon for Binghamton.
Well, Darby Lee set a killer screen. You heard the whole crowd go, ooh, because really caught her off guard. That's kind of one of those scenarios where you kind of yell out to your teammates. If I'm Kai Moon, hello, can you call out the screen? You got to let me know what's coming.
They both just high-five. Good sportsmanship by Lee. When she fell down, she got right up and went to go find Kai Moon. Lee eclipsed 1,000 points in her Hartford career against Vermont just a couple of games ago. And Lee was also named to the America East All-Third team for the 3rd straight year. Consistency. Second straight year, pardon me, as a freshman last year. Binghamton can go for the final shot, but Hartford's got this full court press on. They cross over, attacked by Boland. Doesn't lay it in, James is there, pushed from behind. She hensed a whistle was coming, and she got it. Looking for the three-point play.
ALYSSA James, she ranks 29th in the nation with 10 rebounds per game. That's the highest average by an America East Conference player since Julie Forrester of Albany, which we talked about earlier. She's just a force on the boards. She's a force in blocks, which I'm sure we'll talk about here soon.
Wasco and Lizzie Spindler check in. Spindler, a freshman from Taylor, Pennsylvania. 8 seconds for Abed and the Hawks. Abed driving with aggressiveness. And there was a blocking foul called. It's against Jasmine Sina.
Abed really does it all for this team. She sacrifices her body. She knew she was going to get contact on that one, but she made sure to compose herself enough to get a decent shot off to where she could get to the free throw line.
She was named to the America East second team. 8th in the conference in scoring, tied for 4th in assists per game. 1st in free throw percentage, 5th in steals, 4th in three-point percentage. Doing it all, as Danny mentioned. Here's Watkins, also a do-it-all player. Has her shot deflected as the buzzer sounds. 19-15, Bearcats by 4. Opening quarter in the books. Kai Moon getting it done, finding Watkins. We'll be back for the second quarter in Portland after this.
Fans, please direct your attention.
Start of the second quarter in Portland at Cross Insurance Arena. The second straight year this building is the home of the America East Women's Basketball Tournament. ALYSSA James, a force down inside, 7 points, 6 rebounds in that first quarter.
I mean, effort is something you just can't teach, and ALYSSA James gives effort night in and night out. I mean, she's had 20 double-doubles in her career. She's working on another one already. She's only played 9 minutes and already 6 rebounds and 7 points. The second quarter hasn't even started.
Who knows what she could be up to the rest of the night? 8 double-doubles in the regular season for James. And of course, we know her dominance on the defensive end. No blocks yet tonight, but she holds the Binghamton and America East block records, career numbers at 260, which is just mind-boggling. Coming into the night, third in the nation in blocks. 10 on the shot clock for Hartford. Janelle Harrison's been quiet. She drives all the way to the rim. Janelle Harrison from Cromwell, Connecticut, leading the Hawks in steals, and also their second leading scorer at 12 per game. That was her first bucket. Kai Moon draws a quick whistle on Alexia Douglas.
It was a good cross-court pass there, because sometimes you can catch a defense off guard a little bit when you transfer the ball from one side of the court to the other real quick. She's able to get Kai Moon a chance to get a step on her defender.
Hartford in some zone. James on the drop-off by Boland. Easy score off the window. ALYSSA James with 9. Lindsay Abed comes back and drains a jumper. Abed with 8. Hartford put so much pressure on in the front court. Douglas tried to pick it off. Kai Moon looks to punish her, but could not drop the triple. Abed in free fall. It's Darby Lee turning around. Jumper short. Someone might have gotten a piece, according to the official. Watkins nods her head, wants the Carmody pick. Carmody aggressive to the basket. Offensive foul.
You know, that was a rough possession there for the Binghamton offense. There just wasn't a whole lot of spacing. Imani Watkins trying to get a drive going a couple times there. She just kept running into Carmody's defender 2 times in a row before Carmody just decided she was going to take it on her own. Got to have a little bit better spacing, maybe move the ball around to the opposite side of the court like we saw the play before.
Contested shot. Boland was there to get the miss. Watkins head fake to the rim and draws the foul on her pursuit.
Just an unbelievably quick first step. You almost can't even see her on her first attempt towards the basket. Her feet move so quickly. It's almost like a blur.
If you were handled the task of defending Imani Watkins.
Well, let me tell you right now, I would not be handed that chore. But go ahead, you can finish. I was very fast.
How would you approach guarding Imani Watkins?
I would approach it by angles and really, really requiring help from that weak side if she does get by you. Because you've got to respect her three-point shot. Obviously, we just talked about how dangerous she is from the outside, so you have to crowd her a little bit, but also really understand your angles when you're taking your defensive slides. Make her go side to side rather than letting her go north-south.
Bodies hitting the floor. Hartford comes away with it. Watkins defending the ball. Douglas crosses over, goes right by the player of the year. James had the rebound, and then she was fouled on the wrist. Hartford's third team foul. And Douglas gets high fives as she checks out. And that often happens, right? A missed layup leading to a frustration foul.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, she is a junior, but that's just one of those things that I was gonna say youth, but you know, she is a junior. Once you make a mistake, you don't want to follow it up by another mistake, especially in a game like today.
Wide open Boland. Splash from distance, Carly Boland. Last year, she led America East in three-point shooting. Harrison's response off the left of the iron. Boland this year at 32%. a big-time drop-off, but capable of knocking down the open shot. Bearcats by 7, largest lead of the half on either side. Turnover, Binghamton. That's their 6th. Hartford's only turned the ball over once.
Such a crucial statistic, as we saw in the game before this one when Vermont had way too many turnovers early on and it really shot themselves in the foot. Holding on to the basketball and taking pride in your possessions is very important, especially during tournament time. There's enough pressure at stake right now that you don't need to give any team more chances than they already will have by giving them the ball off turnovers.
4 minutes deep into quarter number 2. Bearcats by 7. Harrison denied. First block of the day for ALYSSA James. Binghamton wants to push. Boland 3. James looking for the whistle from over the back. Not getting it. Here's the block.
Great block. We were waiting for the first one. You know she's great at it.
You can never play the over-under game when it comes to blocks with her, because
I mean,
no matter what number you set, she might easily climb over. Now it's Boland with the rejection. Here's Kai Moon trading hands with the left. Got it. Timeout, Kim McNeil and Hartford. The Bearcats by 9.
You can really tell how much this Binghamton team missed the presence of Kai Moon the last time out against Hartford.
We'll step aside. 5:22 left first half. Carly Boland doing her job. 9-point lead for the Bearcats in Portland.
This is a place where bright minds meet, where innovative education and groundbreaking research thrive. A world-class institution with renowned faculty and endless opportunity. This is Binghamton University, the premier public university in the Northeast.
Respect is hard work, respect is dedication.
Respect is earned on the court or on the field.
Respect doesn't judge based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
Respect is being the first conference to partner with the You Can Play project.
And the first conference in the LGBT Sports Safe Founders Club.
Respect coaches, players, and the game.
Respect similarities.
Respect differences.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
There is a greater strength in you.
A strength you may not see in yourself. But here, you are challenged and pushed and guided and encouraged and motivated and inspired
and propelled and excited and driven to succeed until you find it. That's the University of Hartford.
I don't think you can overstate how big of an advantage it is to be playing a championship game in front of your home crowd.
Standing room only, and just at the end, like having everybody rush the court, it's like a surreal feeling.
Obviously that shot, has been a big part of this program's history, and they did a lot of winning here, and that's why I came here. We had that opportunity, just got to take it.
Just to go out as a winner.
Cut down the nets at home. Win at home, win it all.
Our house rules.
Our house rules.
Our house rules.
Welcome back, second quarter in Portland. 5:22 to go in the half. Binghamton up by 9, largest lead on either side. Danny Kleppinger, former Stony Brook Seawolf, and Brendan Glasheen, with you here tonight. ALYSSA James, 9 points, 7 rebounds. Kai Moon finding freedom to get to the rim. It's a great luxury for Binghamton when it's not all Amani Watkins.
Absolutely, and I think, I can't stress this enough. The last time I watched these two teams play, they definitely miss Kai Moon's presence out there on the floor. A lot of pressure was put on Amani Watkins, and I don't even see her handling the ball quite as much as she did in that last game against Hartford. She had the ball pretty much the entire time in her hands. Now they're able to kind of move it around, give them another option to bring the ball up in transition.
Watkins just threw it away. Binghamton turns it over for the 6th time. On the floor for the Bearcats, Lizzie Spindler, Kaylee Wasco, Boland, Watkins, and James. Harrison, Lee, Young, Abed, and Douglas on the floor. That jump shot swirls in for Young, the left-hander. Jade Young's got the capability of scoring at any given moment. Turnover by the freshman Spindler, 2-on-1. Harrison goes to Douglas, and off the kick ball. Unfortunate, you can see Harrison mouthing to her teammate, throw it up next time.
Spindler, got to give a shout out to her. That was a good defensive stop. A 2-on-1 scenario and you come up with no basket. I mean, that's usually a high five to the defender.
Yeah, there's the glass half full mentality after the turnover. There's another jump shot by Young off the pick. She's fired up and down to 5. That media timeout came at an opportune time for Hartford. James chases down the loose ball. Jammed up in the corner, and she's called for an offensive foul. That elbow.
Had to be the elbow.
Yep.
That got that call, because otherwise I think it's a pretty aggressive just step through. I mean, what are you supposed to do in this situation when you're completely trapped like that? That's what they teach you to do, is step through like that. I think she just led a little bit too much with the elbow to cause them to call that an offensive foul. But really, that's what they teach you when you're stuck in a trap, to step through that way and step through with a vengeance.
Young trying to make it 6 straight points for Hartford. That jumper squirted back out. James with another rebound. She has 8 with 9 points. Watkins directing traffic at the top of this offense. Skip to Moon. 8 on the shot clock. Boland goes to Watkins, steps into a triple, yes!
She just plays with such poise about her, just really, I want to say bouncy. That's probably not even the right word. She just moves around so fluent and with this quickness to her. And it's not easy to take a jump shot off the dribble, a 3-pointer off the dribble, especially after it's been swung around a lot, and she was able to knock that one down. She's really a special player, Amani Watkins.
Conference Player of the Year announced on Friday night at the conference banquet. And a real touching moment after accepting the award. She thanked not just her teammates, but the entire league as ALYSSA James finishes off the dish by Watkins, her 4th assist in this first half. Just speaking to everybody, and made the point to say we are all beautiful young women and we should speak, we should use our platform going forward. One of those cases, again, I said this earlier about Tiana Jo Carter, when she spoke, everybody listened. She's gained that respect in her 4 years at Binghamton.
I mean, when you're a 2,000-point scorer, how do you not gain respect? I haven't been able to catch too many of Binghamton's games, but as soon as I started to, study up and watch film on her, I gained a tremendous amount of respect for her myself. Ooh, she fell hard right there.
And she rises to her feet. Hobbling a little bit. She's got a mild grin now on her face.
I guess that's one way to laugh off something that hurt a little bit.
Sierra DaCosta, the victim. But Imani's all about competition. It was a deflection out of bounds, so Binghamton's basketball for the time being. And the officials agree in unison. Linda Simino shouting, "We're good, we're good."
She's half reffing, half coaching.
Moon soccer pass down underneath. Jade Young tipped it out of bounds. And a foul is called against Abed. No, I'm sorry, they'll go to James. Pardon me, 5 in the whites. Abed's not even on the floor. And that is ALYSSA James' second foul.
That'll probably put her on the bench for the rest of the second quarter, but she's really made her impact known already so far in this game. I think it's okay to give her a little breather. Let her compose herself. No point in risking her getting a third foul before the end of this half.
Bearcats have outscored Hartford 14-8 in this second quarter. Young to the basket, tossing with her right. She's naturally left-handed. Wasco swipes it away. Double team on Watkins, fumbles it out of bounds. She knew it too. That speechless connection with her head coach from cross court. 10-point game. 90 seconds or so now remaining in half number 1. The winner takes on Albany tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. The first half of the bracket was set earlier this afternoon. Top seed Maine will take on rival 5 seed New Hampshire. And off the back foot of Abed, Hartford gives it right back. The Hawks commit just their 4th turnover. Boland way too strong.
Too strong and a little bit too early for me in the shot clock, especially kind of in this scenario. Knock off some of that time.
Minute to play in the first half. If I had said to you before the game as we approach halftime that Imani Watkins was the 3rd leading scorer on Binghamton at this point in the game with a 10-point lead, would you be surprised?
You know what I think I would be more surprised by? The fact that Hartford's down by this much. I was expecting Hartford to come out here and really challenge Binghamton and actually have the lead going into this first half, but that's why I'm not a betting person.
Boland tipped it out of bounds after a skyrocket pass by Watkins. Her one Achilles heel in her game is she does turn the ball over so much, but a ball-dominant player, you take the good with the bad.
Absolutely, you know, and her decision making I don't think is top notch with basketball, but can you say she makes up for it with points and all the other things? Probably.
Fair to say. Harrison down on the deck, surrounded by Bearcats. This year, Watkins committed 113 turnovers.
Yeah.
One of the tops in the conference.
Oh. Maybe need to wipe up the floor down there. Refs.
Lizzie Spindler just fell down on her own.
She definitely slipped running in there. The camera caught her too.
Unless the ghost of Cross Insurance Arena gave her a push.
I think she's still laughing at herself, not sure.
Fifth Hartford foul. So Kai Moon heads to the stripe. Corinne Godshall checks in, redshirt sophomore forward. Boland getting a rest. Kai Moon with 10 points, 5 of 5 at the free throw line, an 80% free throw shooter this year. Definitely a key missing ingredient from Sunday's loss. A 16-point defeat. Hartford handed them. Lindsay Abed, count it, plus the foul.
And that starts with DaCosta. That starts with her aggressiveness to get to the rim. That set up her player. Great vision on that one, being able to dump it off to Darby Lee.
Lee, the high point player for Hartford, with 8. And she's taken 8 shots, 3 of 8 from the field. Told you before, Lee only had 2 points on Sunday, 1 of 7 from the field. Earlier in the season, when these two met at Binghamton on January 13th, 18 points, 8 boards, 3 steals for the sophomore from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Watkins with the double team, gets over the line. 10 seconds here for Binghamton.
Whew.
Ball flutters right over to Cena. Still pressure, 3 seconds. Spindler has it tipped up, and no one's getting a shot at the conclusion of this half.
Fantastic defensive possession there by Hartford to end the half. They need to come out of the locker room, out of this halftime, with that same amount of pressure and high hands. There was nothing Binghamton could possibly do to get a shot off in the last 10-15 seconds.
Hartford leading the conference in steals, just 3 through that first half. We'll see if the defensive intensity picks up. ALYSSA James did her thing in the first half. 11 points, 8 rebounds. We're at the half here in Portland.
The America East Women's Basketball Championship in Portland. Coming back to Maine, especially Portland, being so close to family, was an amazing feeling. The atmosphere was phenomenal. Maine has a great support system, especially towards basketball. Portland is a great area. I'm not far from it. There's such great scenery. I love visiting there.
Visit Portland for the 2018 America East Women's Basketball Tournament, March 3rd and 4th at the Cross Insurance Arena. Tickets are on sale now.
Hey, Portland, we'll see you in March.
Welcome back to Cross Insurance Arena at the half in Portland, Maine for the America East Conference Tournament quarterfinals. Let's have a look at the all-conference teams. We'll begin with the all-academic team. And we have Danny Kleppinger alongside a former Stony Brook Seawolf who's joining us throughout the day. You were a student athlete. You played at Stony Brook. Talk to us about the balance of academics and trying to manage playing and getting all those things done.
I mean, it's a grind. The season is long, and then give a credit to these women that have made it onto this all-academic team, because it's hard when you're balancing school, practice, and also trying to maintain somewhat of a social life, have some friends, you know, as well. And so for these ladies to come up with these GPAs, very impressive.
Kayla Gibbs is a great name to hit on there, too, getting Lowell's program rejuvenated. All rookie team, and you see Doris Saar, we'll mention her in a little bit. Jania Summers for UMBC. Not easy to put up some of these percentages and these points per game totals in your first year.
Absolutely not. When you come in as a rookie, you were the best player on your high school team, and then you come into a team and you have to try and make an impact where there's people that are a lot older than you. They've been through the program. So for these rookies to step up like they have is very impressive.
Doris Saar, 81 assists, also impressive. We move on to the all-conference third team, Albany with some representation. Kai Moon with a great sophomore campaign with Binghamton after a tremendous freshman season. Darby Lee, a 1,000-point scorer, and Jarrell Matthews, another JUCO transfer for Stony Brook, has been a spark.
Let's give Jarrell Matthews a little shout-out because she's wearing my old jersey number 11. She, she can knock it down from behind the arc. She's really been a good duo, her alongside Shorty Johnson, who we'll also talk about in a second. Jarrell Matthews has had a tremendous year, and she's definitely someone that teams have to come in and pay attention to on the floor because when she gets open, she knocks it down.
All-conference second team includes a player from New Hampshire, and Olivia Healy, who joined the team midway through last season. Healy was a transfer from Richmond and has made her presence felt in a full season, close to 13.7 rebounds a game. Hannah Crimble, just a sophomore, carrying the Catamounts. You see Lindsay Abed's name again, ALYSSA James, a force in the paint, and Tanisha Sutton, a player that has also been tremendous for Maine.
Tanisha Sutton is someone I want to shout out on this list because Maine versus Albany, that final game of the conference, Blanca Milan fouls out. Sutton takes over that game. To be able to have another threat that's able to step up when your best player, arguably your best player, is off the floor, that's why she earned herself a second-team all-conference.
27 points, a career high against the Great Danes in that regular season finale. And here's the all-conference first team, Jessica Vecchier, a staple for this Albany program. Carly Pogue, last year's conference player of the year for New Hampshire, makes the list. Shorty Johnson, Blanca Milan, and Imani Watkins. What more can be said about Watkins in her season?
Imani Watkins. This player is fantastic. This is why she was the player of the year in the conference, which we'll get to in a second, but she can shoot the ball. She runs this team. The ball's in her hands pretty much the entire game. She is the heart and soul of that Binghamton team.
A thrill to watch. I mean, look at all the award winners from this season. Shout out to Amy Vachon as well.
Absolutely.
Late yesterday, 4-year contract offered. She took it. She's going to be the head coach of Maine for the next 4 years. Some excellent talent as we've gone through with Sutton and Milan. Saar is back. Rosignol winning 6th player of the year. And this Binghamton duo might help them get all the way through in this conference tournament.
I just have to echo you on Coach Vachon because she stepped into a tough situation with Coach Barron headed out for health issues, and she stepped into a team that people weren't sure were going to do very well. They were predicted to finish 6th in the conference, finished number 1. That's a big credit to her.
We'll be back for more second half action here inside Cross Insurance Arena. You're watching the America East Women's Basketball Championship on ESPN. Back inside Cross Insurance Arena in Portland. Binghamton up by 9 at the half. Danny Kleppinger alongside I'm Brendan Glasheen. 9-point lead for the Bearcats. They set the tone from the start. It was a little back and forth from the beginning. And we look at the bracket now overall. I'm really looking forward to Maine, New Hampshire, one of those rivalry games that we get to take in tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN3 and on the handy-dandy Watch ESPN app. Albany advancing rather handedly over Vermont. I think the Great Danes have their hands full no matter who comes out of this game. Still a lot of time left.
I agree. These are two very talented teams. They like to push pace, which I appreciate because that's something Albany didn't face against Vermont. It was a little bit of a slow-paced game, that Albany-Vermont game. Binghamton-Hartford, complete opposite, it feels like. Both attacking and running in transition, so whoever they do match up against will be a challenge for sure.
And to give the Albany Great Danes the benefit of the doubt, they didn't shoot all that well tonight, so perhaps they're going to be even more crisp and more ready to go as far as firepower is concerned tomorrow.
Absolutely. I think Fekir would like to have a better game than she had today. Not that she had a bad game. She just didn't have one of her best games. And I think she might bring that there in the semifinals and rise to the occasion.
Okay, we'll have a look of statistics and highlights from that first half. Binghamton up by 9 on Hartford. You're watching the America East Women's Basketball quarterfinals here in Portland.
Oh, these are the highlights.
Nine-point lead for number 3 seed Binghamton on top of the 6 seed Hartford. Let's look at highlights from that first half, Danny. A nice run by the Bearcats, outscoring Hartford 14-6 in the paint.
Absolutely, but Hartford came out early and got some steals, which is their bread and butter. They want to push in transition. They want their defense to create their offense, and they did that early on. But then Binghamton just did a good job of finding their offensive weapons, and believe it or not, it wasn't all Amani Watkins. ALYSSA James cleaning up the boards there. She's got 11 points so far, 8 rebounds, and then you can really tell that that Kai Moon was missed in the last matchup against Hartford. She's taken a lot of pressure off of Amani Watkins. Kai Moon with 11 points herself.
And she made 6 of 6 free throws as well to give the Bearcats a 9-point lead. Watkins did have 8 points herself. We'll be back for second half action in Portland. Halftime has concluded in our final quarterfinal game. We've made it this far, Danny Kleppinger. Let's finish strong, and I think we've got ourselves a treat here in the second half. Hartford is down 9, but tell us how the Hawks can get back in this game.
They can get back in this game by doing exactly what they did on that last possession of the first half. They had their hands in the air. They were pressuring the basketball. They're a great defensive team, and you saw how Binghamton panicked when they saw all those Hartford hands straight up in the air, denying them from getting any type of offense going. If they can do that again, they might be able to stop Binghamton's offense.
And should Amani Watkins continue to spread the wealth, that's going to only open up her game, right?
Absolutely. And Amani Watkins, I'm sure she's going to have herself quite a half here too, especially if Hartford starts to put the pressure on Binghamton. You know Amani Watkins is the person that's going to take over.
And right on cue, a beautiful bounce pass into the lap of ALYSSA James from Watkins. Earning free throws, a late whistle. Kim McNeil not pleased on the Hartford bench. James, a 58% free throw shooter. First attempts of the night. How about Binghamton as a team? 11 for 11 from the line.
Such a huge statistic, and we've been talking about it all day long because those are free points. Those are freebies. Take away those 11 points off their total score and look at what a difference that this game would be.
Tied up for my calculation.
Exactly.
Alexia Douglas for 3. Too strong. Watkins wants to soar. Kai Moon's turn to orchestrate. Again, Moon had 11 first half points, 6 of 6 from the charity stripe. Watkins had 8 and James had 11 herself. 10 on the shot clock, into the lane, that one swirls in. I see you shaking your head there,
I'm in disbelief. Look at that ball handling in tight quarters. It wasn't like there weren't defenders on her left and her right, and she's able to do those little crafty moves, still get the shot off, and not only get the shot off, but nail the shot. Yeah, that was a sigh of disbelief.
Young's entry got batted away, and then James blocked the shot. Carmody down the right side, looking to scoop it. Douglas skies in for the board. And over the top, Carmody caught for reaching from behind. Displaying some hustle.
She's getting to the rim. She's having a little bit of a hard time finishing. I think that's maybe the second or third layup that she's missed. But you know what? You got to give it to her. I appreciate aggressiveness and taking it to the rim like we've talked about all day today. And I appreciate her driving to the basket and trying to make things happen. She just got to finish.
DaCosta dribbles out. This is Binghamton's largest lead, 13 points. DaCosta to the bucket. Dropped it too short. Kai Moon is swarmed. Loose ball, and James pulls it away. Hartford just seems rushed. Is that a fair assessment?
They do, as opposed to Binghamton, who doesn't seem that rushed to me.
James off balance, right back in her hands.
I don't think Hartford's really gotten comfortable in anything offensively yet. And I don't know if that's because they just want to play off the dribble drives or what it is, but I haven't really seen a true offensive set where they run through all their different options and use their patience.
Another offensive rebound. 5 for Binghamton. Hartford has 5 itself. Into traffic, snaking through Watkins. She gets her own miss. This is their 4th try. Kai Moon came up short. Still a lot of time, though, and a lot of different looks for Binghamton. DaCosta comes up empty. Darby Lee ramming her shoulder in to fight for position.
And that's just a relentless basket. She knew that her team needed a score right there. She fought down the rebound, able to go up strong and give them a layup.
Carmody back up strong after the offensive rebound. Another one for Binghamton. Had 3 in the first half altogether. They've already got 5 in this second half. First time we'll see Carmody at the free throw line, 81% this season. Linda Simoneau says she might be the most athletic player I've coached, and that's saying something when you have Amani Watkins and ALYSSA James on your roster as well.
I agree. That's quite a statement, especially having those people on your roster.
She does a lot of things, plays out of position.
Absolutely.
All those pieces have to flow into place when you want to make a championship run.
100%, and it's those little things and those unsung heroes, you know, people like Carmody could be forgotten about just because of the status of Amani Watkins and the flavor that Kai Moon brings to the court, but Carmody does her job and she does it well.
Wasco with the foul. Harrison at the line. A quiet night for Janelle Harrison, who entered conference tournament play. 13th in the conference in scoring and 6th in field goal percentage. Tonight just 1 for 5, 4 points for the senior. Moon and Watkins easily break the press. And I think, was it Carey?
Oh, must have been that.
Carey against Watkins. Kim McNeil saw it. She appreciated the call. Here's DaCosta setting up shop. Both Douglas players are on the floor. Harrison and Lee. In and out for Harrison. Bounced away though. Douglas kicks out. Abed steps into a triple. Now Hartford's taking over the offensive glass.
Giving themselves second opportunities to get a basket.
Abed coast to coast, from left to right, sweeping in and makes it an 8-point game.
Just a great possession of offense there for Hartford. Fighting to get those extra possessions, fighting for those rebounds. Ends up in a basket by none other than Abed.
Carmody goes high-low. Wasco finishes. Simple offense by the Bearcats. DaCosta wants a screen. Plays off of Harrison. Pattison, no. Abed, too strong herself.
But I like the tenacity of Hartford right now. I like that they're crashing the boards and crashing them hard. Binghamton's got to do a better job of boxing out, even though Hartford didn't capitalize on that last offensive board. You don't want to give them an opportunity to catch up to you. It's only a 10-point game with a lot of time left.
They called a foul on Alexia Douglas. That was her third, so she comes out. Flinging a pass outside. Watkins out to Boland. James on the backboard again, up with her left, and she's fouled.
She had about, we're gonna have to take a look at it so I can count
how many Hawks were walking in
on her.
Yeah.
And she was still able to muscle up a shot.
James to the free throw line when we come back to Cross Insurance Arena here in Portland. Lindsay Abed, the junior, trying to keep the Hawks in flight, down 10 to the Bearcats. By the end of the tonight, we can say then there were 4. The America East Women's Basketball Championship continues tomorrow afternoon here in Portland with semifinal games at 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern. To join us here, visit crossinsurancearenaportland.com or catch all the action on the home of America East Hoops, ESPN3, and on the Watch ESPN app. Midway through the third quarter, Bearcats by 10. It was a 1-point game at halftime. ALYSSA James to the stripe. All-conference second-teamer, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. That's saying something. The first to do that since 2002. Albany did that.
Just an absolutely outstanding all-around player. And you know, she's not one of the ones that's going to make headlines, yet she's consistent. And like I said earlier, you can't teach effort. Those statistics that she pops up on, that's an effort thing. Blocks, rebounds, defensive stops, that's effort.
Tonight, double-double for the 9th time this year. 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks for ALYSSA James. Over the shoulder feed to Wasco. She can pass the ball as well.
Can do it all.
Biggs love picking up assists. DaCosta for 3. Offensive rebound, Hartford. Freedom for DaCosta, got happy feet and traveled. Saw a lot of room.
She did have a lot of room, and it was a good decision to take a drive there. Her feet just got a little ahead of herself. I didn't like the first shot, the 3. I thought it came a little early, especially right now. They need to be patient and find the right shot, the open shot, the rhythm shot, the one that comes after you swing the ball around the perimeter a little bit.
Watkins, Moon, Carmody, Boland, and Wasco. James getting a rest for the Bearcats with under 4 minutes left here in the third.
Ooh.
Moon in midair lost the basketball. Abed pushing and throws it into the stands. Hartford's 9th turnover. Hawks have Abed, DaCosta, Pattison, Harrison, and Lee. The Hawks are seeking their 12th semifinal appearance in the last 14 years. Binghamton trying to go to their 6th semi in program history. Wide open Carmody, one dribble.
I think she was surprised at how open she was. She had a wide open left-handed layup right there, took a dribble. I think she just was surprised. It's one of those things you turn around expecting someone to be there and nobody was there.
Lee falling away, nothing but net.
She's really had a tremendous game. She came to play today, and she came to give her team a spark when they needed it. You know, we expected Lindsay Abed to be that person, and she has been to an extent, but Darby Lee really stepping up and playing a really good basketball game today.
13 points to lead the Hawks. She sort of teetered off at the end of the regular season, just one double-figure scoring game over the last 4. Watkins getting involved. 12 points for the Conference Player of the Year. 4 assists, 4 rebounds as well for the High Point, North Carolina native. Hartford needs stops as well as points. Moon bangs into her own teammate, Boland.
You know, Janelle Harrison is usually really deadly and a really good shooter from, you know, that mid-range, that high post area. I know that one was more towards short corner, but, you know, she can knock those down. They're just not falling for her tonight, and I can kind of see the frustration. She looks a little tired. She's been working hard down there on the post to get position. They haven't really fed her down there low on the blocks, which is why she's taking that short corner jump shot, that high post jump shot. It's just not falling for her.
Yeah, 1 for 7 in this game. When these two met in early January at Binghamton, she was held to 2 of 9 shooting. And this year, yeah, you nailed it. 48% from the field. That leads the team. And that's 6th best in America East. Moon is back at the stripe, as you probably noticed. 7 of 7 from the line. DaCosta's got 4 fouls, so she comes out. Need her to stay in the game.
Yeah, they do. Because even if she's not scoring a ton, she at least creates movement out there. She doesn't stay stagnant. She doesn't pass and stand. She looks to drive and make things happen. Rough to have her on the bench right now.
Bearcats with their largest lead. 15 tallies on Hartford with 2:09 left in the third. The Hawks have won 3 straight entering tournament play. Binghamton lost their final 2 games, including a loss to Hartford in the regular season, but went 7-3 over the final 10. 7 to shoot here. Alexia Douglas feeds to Harrison. Way too strong. Now 1 for 8. Harrison is. And Watkins bounces it over to Moon. Binghamton, the 3 seed this year. Highest finish in 7 years. Watkins, a big reason why. Found the backboard, but nowhere near the rim. Out of bounds off Boland. Hartford ball.
Yeah, it's been good to see how this Binghamton team has turned it around. I mean, when I was playing, Binghamton was not a powerhouse at all, you know. Neither was Stony Brook by any means, but we always knew it would be a pretty good game because we were 2 of the bottom teams in the conference.
Lee hurt, or not hurt, but
shaken up a little.
Shaken up, going down to the deck. Has put her head down all night and attacked the rim. 13 points. Lee 3 for 3 at the line today. Lee has yet to take a 3-pointer.
Binghamton's band singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star during these free throws. Interesting tactic for somewhat of a distraction. It made me laugh. I don't know if I would have laughed if I was at the free throw line. I think I might have. I mean, so random.
It's not bedtime just yet, guys. We have another quarter of basketball after this one.
You gotta appreciate some creativity once in a while, though, you know?
You never heard that one when you played?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star? No.
To the block, Watkins to James. Flipped off the iron. As we approach a minute to play in the third. Hand off to Pattison. Douglas collects off the miss. Douglas, oh, big time 3. Rattles in from the top.
That was a big time 3, just to keep them in this game, in this conversation, give them a little bit of a boost as this quarter starts to wind down. Will it be answered, though?
Boland responds. Answered your question. Back up to 14.
Answered it.
You see there, 36% for Binghamton from 3, 5 of 14. They've also made 88% of their free throws, 15 of 17. Loose ball, Kai Moon is beaten by Douglas. 10 seconds here. Pattison. Short, Harrison on the glass, back up.
I'm proud of Harrison for sticking with that because they finally fed her the ball on the low block there. She missed the first one, able to get another shot at it and knock it down. I know the frustration is probably there for her right now.
Watkins at the half-court heave almost made this place explode. 12-point game at the end of 3. Boland, a big-time shot, 2 of 4 from distance tonight. Come back for the 4th. Crunch time, start of the fourth. Number 3 seed Binghamton up by 12 on number 6 seed Hartford. As we look at the bracket once again, we look at this full day. Which individual performance has wowed you or impressed you the most from this action of basketball?
It came in game 1. Blanca Milan. She's just an outstanding player. She does everything from score the basketball to share the basketball. Offensively, defensively, she makes such an impact for her team, and she rose to the occasion today. I think everybody else, the top players that we've really discussed today, with the exception of, I thought that Shorty Johnson did well and the UNH team did well in general, but Blanca Milan as a solid solo performance played tremendous.
Binghamton basketball, Douglas could not run down the loose ball. I think I'd agree. 21 points for Blanca Milan. Took home all conference honors last night. Five rebounds and 4 steals in the win over UMBC. Maine gets New Hampshire tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for our first semifinal game. And then the winner of this game takes on the 2 seed Albany. Binghamton's had a triple-headed monster tonight. Moon, James, and Watkins, who has the ball now. 3 to shoot, dish to Carmody, and she lays it in. Rolls off the heel to score as the shot clock buzzer expired. Darby Lee with 14 points to lead the Hawks. Harrison receives on the block, stuffed by Carmody.
Great defense by Carmody.
Great first step by Moon, draws the whistle. Not the case, Harrison drawing the whistle. Offensive foul on Kai Moon.
Got that foul, starts to number 3, Kai Moon. That's her second personal.
Jade Young. Way too much on that 3. Saved underneath by James. Gives Lee a chance. Gathers and scores.
That's one of the main rules they teach you not to do. You do not save the ball underneath your opponent's basket. Alyssa James just basically handed Hartford a layup. She's lucky they didn't come out with a basket on that one.
Uncharacteristic move by the senior. James, too many steps.
Hartford's mentality at this point has to be stop and score, stop and a score. So the past 2 times down the floor, they've been able to get a stop on defense. That means now they've got to try and get a score. The more times they do that, they have chances. I'm going back to this play right now because they just replayed it. Alyssa James saving the ball underneath the basket, giving them a layup. Just not smart.
Game high 16 for Darby Lee. With the ball now, attacking. Whistle blows up top. And Carly Boland. Check that, Carmody called for her 4th. And Linda Simino calls Wasco to the bench, or on the bench. The Hawks defensively have just 5 steals in the game. They average close to 13 per. DaCosta off balance, buries the elbow J.
It's a 10-point game still, 7 minutes to go. Hartford, like I said, if you just get some stops right now, you got to convert them into scores.
There's a steal and a caused turnover. Binghamton up to 18 in the game. Douglas gives it away to Moon.
I understand wanting to push and get a basket in transition, but if there's nothing there, they really got to pull it out and be smart with those extra possessions, because they've been getting stops on the defensive end. Every possession at this point on is gold, and you need to make sure you're taking the best shot possible each time down the floor. Capitalize on these opportunities.
2 to shoot for Watkins. Bounced off the back rim. And the downside for Hartford, you're going up against a team that might have the best player in crunch time on the other side in Imani Watkins. 2-on-1, Carmody and Moon, but she decides to keep and gets bulldozed on the shoulder. Kai Moon is going back to the line.
We'll take another look at this one, but I think it was a good decision making here to keep this one on her own. I think Harrison was expecting the pass a little bit. She was kind of playing the angle to be able to deflect the pass had she thrown it. It was a good keep by Kai Moon.
We wondered coming in if Kai Moon would play in this game. Ruled out indefinitely after missing Sunday's game against these very Hawks. A 15-point loss for Binghamton in West Hartford. And Moon has performed tonight. 10 of 10 at the free throw line. 15 points, 6 rebounds for the sophomore. Bearcats by 12. Pattison head fakes, snakes into the lane. Batted out by James. Shot clock down to 10. Pattison feeds on the handoff, and the jumper falls. Lee is having a great game, 18 points.
She's having a tremendous game. She came to play today.
Feels like every shot has been high percentage for her as well.
But you know what? She's a senior. You know, she's playing like this could be her last game, and that's what you kind of always say, isn't that the saying, play every game like it's your last? Well, this could very well be her last game. She's going to leave everything she has out there on the floor.
DaCosta on the move. Ball on the floor, Boland takes it away. One-handed pass by Moon. James off the window, deposits. And a timeout by Hartford. Kim McNeil wants to chat. We'll take the timeout as well. 4:43 to play here in the fourth quarter. ALYSSA James, 16 points, 10 boards. Binghamton by 12 here in the quarters. 4:43 left in regulation. Our final quarterfinal matchup of the day. Number 3 seed Binghamton up by 12 on 6 seed Hartford. Alyssa James, as we take a look here, 16 points, 10 boards, her 9th double-double of the season. In the right place at the right time often tonight.
Absolutely, except for the one saved pass underneath the opponent's basket.
Yeah, you're really kicking her for that.
I am. It's just not a smart move, and I expect a lot out of her, I think is what it is. But she's been tremendous tonight, a double-double. She just from the get-go, she came here to play. She does it all, and I know we've talked about that all game long. Points, rebounds, blocks. Just an all-around tremendous player and a really big staple for this Binghamton team. All right, I'll lay off for a little bit.
Hartford with the score, Darby Lee with 20 points. Her career high is 24. She had that against Maine at the beginning of the month. We'll see if she's up to no good later. Another timeout on the floor, though. Our final of this game. Alyssa James doing the job down on the block. 10-point game. Alyssa James in Binghamton up by 10 with 4:15 to play. Former Stony Brook Seawolf, Danny Kleppinger, I'm Brendan Glasheen. Just want to thank everyone that's joined us throughout the course of the day. We got started shortly after the noon hour on the East Coast, and we've been at it since. Have had a blast covering these games. It's been a good time.
It's been really fun, and I knew it would be coming into this tournament because, for the first time in a long time, it's kind of unpredictable what was going to happen today.
Lindsay Abed just short on the jump shot, trying to cut it to single digits.
4 games, a lot of games to call, but it's been fun. There's worse things in life than sitting in a basketball gym all day long, getting to talk about basketball.
Watkins gives it right back to Hartford. This is the Hawks' third straight tournament as the 6th seed. Last year they pulled off the upset and beat UMBC, eventually falling to Albany. A late whistle against ALYSSA James. Darby Lee is having herself a night. The senior going to the line, bidding for points 21 and 22 of the evening. That's the 4th foul on ALYSSA James.
You know, if this game doesn't work out into the Hartford Hawks' favor, you know Darby Lee, well, of course she's going to be frustrated because that would mean that her college career is over, but she's got to be proud of herself in the game that she has put together today. She came to play.
Six-foot senior, 3-time all-conference third-team selection, and she's even getting the favorable bounce off the top of the glass. 22 for Lee, 6 of 7 at the free throw line. Full court press by Hartford. They might be wearing down. Boland got it from 3. Back up to 11.
That hurts. You know, Binghamton just won't go away. Hartford gets a little bit of light, and Binghamton responds.
Carmody Chin the miss, and Kai Moon brings it over the line. The supporting cast of Binghamton has to perform like this should they keep advancing, as Lindsay Abed denies herself off the rim, stays with the Hawks. But if you get 15 from Moon, 16 from James, even Carmody, or pardon, Boland making 3 3-pointers, you'll have a shot against Albany.
You didn't even mention Watkins and her impact that she can have. That spread around contributions from everybody on the team can make them a very deadly team, especially coming up against an Albany team that we know is extremely talented.
DaCosta commits the foul.
That's her 5th.
That'll do it for the sophomore. She's done. Sierra DaCosta missing much of the season due to a foot injury. Crucial to this Hartford run. 3-game win streak entering the tournament. Still time left. And Kai Moon throws it away. Some frustration from senior to sophomore. Watkins shouting, "I'm right here, not right there." Linda Simino pulls Moon out of the game for now. Jasmine Cena checking in. Can Hartford make a run? They've tried all day. Binghamton just keeps coming back. Harrison shouting at James and 1. Didn't get the call, but muscled in for 2.
Moon is coming right back into this game. I was watching a little bit of that conversation between Simino and her.
Quick heat check.
Yeah, just wanted to get on the same page there. I don't know exactly what was going on, but definitely somewhat of an animated conversation, but she's back in this game.
Bearcats by 9. Harrison deflecting passes left and right. Bodies on the floor. Pattison calls a timeout with 2:10 to go. We'll keep it here. 3rd steal for Pattison individually. Senior from Troy, New York, coming off the bench. Well, the Hawks, what they've done well here, this is what makes the current score surprising. They've generated 22 turnovers by Binghamton. That's their style. That's what's kept them in grooves this year. You see the 8 steals as well.
They just haven't been able to capitalize on those steals and be able to score points. And that's been what's been hurting them this game. It's not that they haven't played good defense. It's just that they haven't been able to be as effective on the offensive end of the floor as they would like to be. I will say, though, in that last time out, Amani Watkins, talk about being a leader. She knew her team was starting to turn the ball over a little bit. Big three-pointer right there.
Patterson drops down a triple. That's her first 3 of the day.
But Imani Watkins grabbed her teammates, pulled them into a huddle to tell them to calm down, that we've got this, we're in control. That's that leadership that you can't deny. That's extremely, extremely valuable when a coach doesn't have to do it for yourself.
The Hawks cut it to 6. Harrison spinning, looking to outlet the ball.
I don't know. What do you think?
She did.
I gotta rewatch this.
She did.
Did she?
She might have had her dribble.
Dribbling. I disagree.
I'm sorry. I thought she stopped dribbling, but she kept her dribble. That's a tough call.
Well, the refs obviously initially thought the same thing, but I think she's dribbling. I think she has her dribble. That's a bad call.
It's a possession call as well, so you can't go back and change it.
Absolutely not. And it's only a 6-point game. Had that been a transition ball, been able to get, I mean, you can always talk about coulda, shoulda, woulda, I suppose, at this point, but that's a tough possession to lose right there.
Janelle Harrison, and you gave her a shout earlier for staying tall and keeping her head up throughout the course of this game.
She did. She just forced a steal.
She's been all over the place at the half-court line. Boland with daylight, throws it up with her right, and earns a trip to the free throw line with 1:23 to play. 6-point lead for Binghamton.
It was a good drive, but I will say, ALYSSA James was standing wide open underneath the rim for the majority of that play. They just missed her.
Boland, a 73% free throw shooter. A former Miss New York finalist in basketball back in her high school days. Goes 0 for 2. Darby Lee. Offensive foul. Tough blow for Hartford, but great work in the paint.
Great push in transition. See, this is a look I like. You know, this is an okay early shot. Good heads-up play there by Moon to take the charge.
And to your point, Lee has felt it all night. She's been the go-to scorer. And Linda Simino wants to chat, use a timeout with 1:11 left. We've discussed at length about how Binghamton has rebuilt this program, seeking their 6th ever semifinals appearance. Linda Simino, winning Coach of the Year 2 years ago, has seen growth steadily each and every year. The team continues to climb the ranks as far as the respect in the league in the preseason poll. Brings a player like ALYSSA James with her from the Division II program, Caldwell College. It's based in New Jersey. It's an excellent program. Right now, that team is undefeated this year, one of the juggernauts of Division II. And James has come in and made a huge impact. Wanted to play with Coach Simino moving on. Hartford, though, is not going anywhere. Douglas for 3. One possession game with under a minute left.
Binghamton feeling the pressure now.
After the giveaway, and then Kai Moon falls down, helped up.
I appreciate wanting to be aggressive there, but stay on your feet defensively. This is a steal.
2 shots, ladies, 2.
If you just keep them in front of you, you don't want to send Kai Moon to the free throw line.
Hasn't missed today. Just a sophomore here, 11 for 11.
It's had a heck of a game for somebody that we were unsure of come tip if she was going to play or not play.
Finished in the top 5 this year in free throw percentage in America East. A foot injury back on the 22nd of February against Albany. Didn't play against these Hawks on Sunday. Lindsay Abed from distance. Darby Lee on the glass. And Boland fouls her after the miss.
Another big rebound by Darby Lee. She's really making her presence known. It's not just scoring with her, it's going after and fighting for those boards.
It's her 7th. Lee has also set a new career high in points today, 25.
Good for her.
In her final game, potentially. Abed, head fakes, 3-ball. Harrison on the glass. Another crucial offensive board, and free throws here coming for Harrison.
Hartford doing just a great job of keeping themselves in this, continuing to fight for those boards. I'm a little frustrated that this urgency, this sense of urgency didn't happen earlier on in the game. We saw this sense of urgency a little bit heading into the end of the first half. What is it about the end of halves that sparks this team up?
0 for 2 trip. Ball back though. Pattison to Douglas. 18 seconds here. Harrison makes up for her misses at the line and connects from deep. Timeout, Ken McNeil and the Hawks. We'll talk about a way to make up for a couple of misses. They call them freebies.
I told you she's not letting up no matter what's happened to her. She just missed 2 free throws. She's had a tough night from the field, but she comes up big when they need her.
On the season, a 24% three-point shooter. Hartford's outscored Binghamton in this final stanza 21-11. And you made the great points. The point of the night, where was this urgency earlier on? It might be too little too late. Then again, just a 2-point game. Both teams are in the bonus the rest of the way here. Binghamton has 2 timeouts left. Hartford's done, out of timeouts.
If I'm Hartford in this huddle right now, not only am I drawing up a play if you do get another offensive chance, but I'm telling them to deny the ball to Kai Moon because she's the one that's been hot from the free throw stripe tonight.
12 for 12. 17 points for Moon. And 6 boards. The Linda Simino fathead in the stands. I'm sure she appreciates it. Seeing Coach Simino throughout the course of the weekend, she was pacing around this gym at 10 o'clock this morning. Team had a shoot around. I don't think she's left since.
It's hard to have the last game of the day. You and I are a little bit tired just sitting here throughout the whole day. Imagine if we were actually coaching this game.
Watkins gives it away, and Lee finding Douglas, who scores. We're tied at 63. Timeout, Binghamton.
Wow. I mean, I'm just sitting here in disbelief. Not because I didn't think this Hartford Hawks team could do this, because I absolutely thought that they could. But they came back from a big deficit to bring this to a tie game with 10 seconds to go. This is anybody's game.
Kai Moon and Imani Watkins have combined for 14 of Binghamton's 25 turnovers, 7 apiece. Here's another look at it. The officials are just checking the clock. How much time does Binghamton have? All right, well, as great as Hartford was to get this score tied up, Binghamton's got the ball now with 10.7 seconds left. I would think you'd want the final shot here.
Well,
what are you drawing up?
Well, first and foremost, they've got to draw up a better out-of-bounds play to get the ball up the court. I mean, they passed the ball into the corner, really gave Imani Watkins nowhere to go. I think they were anticipating her to get fouled right away, and that didn't happen. They played to get the steal, which is not surprising since Hartford's such a good defensive team. I think she should draw up a big press breaker here to get the ball down the court. Nowhere to go for Imani Watkins right here, and it was a good no-foul decision by Hartford to play to get that steal.
Well, Binghamton has elected to advance the ball. out of the timeout. Hartford's got its 5 on the floor. Lee, Harrison, Abed.
Now is the time that you will see the maturity of Imani Watkins, I think. I think if she gets the ball in her hands, I don't believe she's going to give it up. I think she's going to go to the basket, create an opportunity for herself. Her eyes are always peeled for the next player, but you can sense her frustration. She wants the ball in her hands, and I'm sure Semino wants the ball in her hands as well. Such a talented scorer, quick to the basket. If she can draw a foul going up.
Clock holds at 10.7 seconds.
11.
Up to 11. We just got word from the official. They'll change the clock now. Poland will inbound. Watkins and Moon above the arc. Carmody and James down low. Exactly 11 seconds here for Binghamton. Hartford has clawed back to tie the score. We're ready to go. This is to advance to the semifinals to take on Albany tomorrow afternoon. Moon with the ball.
Go somewhere.
3 seconds for Moon, step away jumper. We are going to overtime.
Unbelievable. Why not extend this day a little bit more, huh? Tremendous comeback by Hartford. And you know what? The Binghamton team right now looks a little deflated. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen in this overtime.
63 all in the final quarterfinal matchup of the day. Hartford and Binghamton will talk it over to reset. So the Hawks generate a steal from Imani Watkins on the baseline in the closing seconds to score. Kelly Douglas off the bench did the job to score the bucket.
I'm really confused, though. I will say, Binghamton out of a timeout. That last play, I'm not entirely, not so much that play, but their last chance here in the half court, out of a timeout, they seemed extremely stagnant. It didn't seem like they knew exactly what they were going to do, which is bizarre to me since you had such a long time to talk about what you're going to do. I mean, I can't imagine that that last second shot by Moon that we just saw was exactly what they drew up.
Binghamton down 63-58, or pardon, Hartford down 63-58 with 15 seconds left. Harrison makes the 3 after the missed free throws, and then Douglas with the lay-in off the steal. Binghamton's band here in full support. Again, earlier today, Maine beat UMBC by 22 points. Blanca Milan went for 21 in the contest. Then New Hampshire, the 5 seed, beat Stony Brook. Brittany Lai had a 20-point outing. 4 double-figure scores for the Wildcats. Maine and UNH at the top of the bracket tomorrow. Albany earlier this evening. Cheyenne, Canada having a great game. Led the way scoring. Tiana Jo Carter, Jessica Fecquier contributed. They got the win over Vermont. And here we are in our final game, tied at 63. Binghamton had a 5-point lead with 15 seconds left, and Hartford fought back to tie the score. Kai Moon had a chance to win the game, but came up short. Overtime underway in Portland. 8 on the shot clock. Moon jumper. Strong. Harrison the rebound. Surprised Kai Moon's taken the last 2 shots on crucial possessions.
I am too, and I was actually a little confused as to why ALYSSA James didn't fight harder for that rebound, but then I just looked at the stat sheet. She's got 4 fouls. She's being smart.
Harrison has turned this day around. 5 for 14 from the floor. She started 1 for 8. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Another senior playing potentially her final game of her college career.
And that's what you want to see out of your seniors. You don't want to see them give up without a fight.
4 on the shot clock. Watkins from way downtown connects from 3. Binghamton up by 1.
Stone cold face after making that one. I think she's extremely frustrated that this game got to this point to be in overtime.
Binghamton led by as many as 15 points late in the 3rd quarter. Squeezing in tight, Mary Patterson. She has 5 points. Hartford aiming for its 12th appearance in the semifinals in the last 14 years. And Binghamton looking for its 6th all-time as a Division I program. Watkins one-on-one with Patterson. Flings up the floater, it got blocked and no whistle. Claws her way back up and hustles on the defensive end. Hawks by 1. Harrison crosses over and airmails the shot. Got to consider fatigue might be kicking in here. Air ball by Harrison. She gets a word from the Binghamton fans.
I don't know if that was fatigue or just it just may be a little bit of an off-balance shot, but I don't think it's really going to affect her much. You know, usually if someone shoots an air ball, it maybe affects you for a couple plays, but she's been playing so well in the past, you know, couple minutes here that I think she'll have a short memory.
Boland skips to Moon. Another board by Lee. Her 9th on the rebounding end. Darby Lee has come to play. Lost the handle on the ball though. 2 minutes left in overtime.
That's been the story this entire game, this Hartford Hawks team getting a stop on defense and really having a hard time connecting to go ahead.
Watkins too strong from 3. Harrison with the rebound. She has a double-double. 13 points, 10 boards.
Just like that, eh? Just like that. It was 1 for 8 and now a double-double.
90 seconds to go in the extra session. 10 to shoot. Alexia Douglas to the corner. Abed got it from 3. Hawks by 4.
That's a huge shot. Ice in her veins for Lindsay Abed.
She's just 2 for 9 from 3 today, and Carmody throws it away. Hartford ball.
You can see the frustration all over Binghamton's face. As soon as that ball was turned over, lots of hands to heads in frustration.
Minute to play in overtime. Linda Simino sharing her words with senior Amani Watkins. We'll take a break and come back for the final minute of overtime. Hartford was down 63-58 in the closing seconds of the 4th. They now lead by 4. Come back for the finish here in Portland. 70-66. Hartford upset number 3 seed Binghamton last year, and they'd like to get some revenge on Albany this time around. The extra pass by Douglas and Lindsay Abed. Just 2 for 9 from 3, comes up big.
Absolute ice in her veins to knock down that shot. We talked about her at the beginning of the broadcast, which feels like a little while ago, but you know what? We called her the player to watch in this game for a reason, and it didn't matter if she missed every shot up until that one. She wanted that one because she knew it was going to put her team in a great position to win this basketball game. 4-point lead with a minute to go for the Hartford Hawks.
With the ball. Steal by Carmody. Down to 3. Abed looking to escape the traffic. Over the line, deflected by Watkins, out of bounds.
Binghamton with some life. I was a little worried when they went into that last time out. They all looked very deflated. Not giving up.
Carmody has 7 points, 50 seconds to go in overtime. The Bearcats don't have to foul. Five on the shot clock. Abed driving, threw it up, airmailed. Lee gets it back in the air, and James secures it.
Whew. Big possession here.
Shot clock turned off. Kai Moon with the ball. Watkins, 7 seconds. And a foul away from the ball against Janelle Harrison. 5.7 on the clock. Wow.
Wow.
And of course the fouls carry over from the fourth quarter, so that means free throws for ALYSSA James.
There was a lot of contact there. You do expect to see some sort of a whistle. I know a lot of people will argue, hey, maybe you just let that contact go.
This year, a 58% foul shooter. This senior, though, tonight, 4 for 5 entering this trip. Offensive board, Moon, back up. Bounces off the iron, 1 second.
Inadvertent whistle.
That's the second time we've seen that tonight. From the far sideline, the official thought Kim McNeil called timeout.
I mean, Hartford got that rebound. I think they thought coach called a timeout. She didn't, so the time would have expired had that whistle not been blown. This was almost best case scenario for Binghamton, because otherwise that clock would have ran out. Now they've got at least a second to try and maybe get a steal and a quick touch putback, but I don't know, 1.1 seconds, that's tough.
So it is a Hartford timeout. Hawks out of timeouts for the remainder of this game. You get an offensive rebound off the second miss by James, and Kai Moon instinctively threw it up. Decent look from the elbow.
It was a good look, and it touched pretty much every part of the rim except going down.
That was Christy Mosley with the whistle from the far sideline. 1.1 seconds. Binghamton needs a prayer. Abed fouled right away by Watkins. 0.6. And the Bearcats do have a timeout.
They do have a timeout, but 0.6 seconds. You've got who you want at the line right now in Lindsay Abed.
Hartford fans are fired up. This would be the second straight year as a 6 seed. Hartford would upset the 3 and go to the semi should they pull this off. One free throw away from making it a 2-possession game. Lindsay Abed started cold.
90% free throw shooter. This is who you want at the line.
Rattles in the second. 4-point game. Timeout Binghamton.
Unfortunately, I don't know if Semino has a 4-point play in 0.6 seconds. Kudos to this Hartford Hawks team. They fought and clawed back to get back into this one. Really a tremendous turnaround.
If you're just joining us for our final game of the day, we're in overtime. Binghamton was up 63-58 until the 15-second mark of that fourth quarter. Janelle Harrison missed 2 free throws, made a 3, 2-point game. Steal underneath against Watkins, layup, tie game. We go to overtime, and the Hawks are up 4. So since that point, it's 14-5 Hartford.
You know what this game came down to, in my opinion? It came down to the seniors on Hartford that just didn't want to be done playing basketball. They were not done with their college career yet. Darby Lee and Harrison, both of them deserve tremendous credit to keeping the Hartford Hawks in this game whatsoever. And then Lindsay Abed, obviously, her contributions.
Many in the league anticipated this would be the best game of the day.
And they were right.
Hartford upsets Binghamton in comeback fashion here in Portland. The Hawks are moving on to take on 2-seed Albany tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern after the conclusion of Maine and New Hampshire. What a finish we had here inside Cross Insurance Arena. Amani Watkins, the player of the year, getting high fives from Kim McNeil, the head coach of Hartford. Just a tremendous finish.
Absolutely. I got chills watching that little exchange right there. You know, Amani Watkins had a tremendous career at Binghamton, and she should be extremely proud of herself. Just a really tough way to end your college career. But kudos to the Hartford Hawks, because those seniors on that team were not gonna let their season be done.
In the Final Four this year, it's the same exact Final Four as a year ago. The seeds are a little bit different, but Maine's playing New Hampshire, and Albany's got Hartford again. The same Final Four as the 2016-2017 campaign. Wow. Well, Portland, you're about consistency. We've got the second straight year of the same Final Four. Just a tremendous day of hoops. The Hawks outscore the Bearcats 32-16 in the fourth and overtime sessions combined. So that'll do it for us. Great day, Danny. A long day, but we'll be back tomorrow for the final 2. For Danny Kleppinger and our entire crew here today at Cross Insurance Arena in Portland, Maine, I'm Brendan Glasheen. We say so long from Portland, where the final score in this final quarterfinal game, number 6 Hartford moving on with a 72-68 win over Binghamton. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games in our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. We'll see you tomorrow here in Portland.